cereal, something.
Big bucks, no whammies. Big bucks, no whammies.
Yeah, something like that.
School of Rock, School of Rock, School of Rock.
That's what Kelly was all about when I told her we were doing Jack Black. She's like, School of Rock. I'm like, yeah, but it will be.
It'll
be there.
So that one actually makes me nervous on which one that's going to be pitted up against.
Wow, that was
I'd have a hard
early
time if
November.
that one comes up against Pick of Destiny.
Wow.
Yeah. Zach Jenkins.
Nick Covey.
Yes. It's nice to have you back.
It's nice to be back.
Welcome back.
So you were our first video podcast. We haven't done a video podcast since then. So how does that make you feel?
No.
Proud, really.
Yeah?
A little scared.
Yeah.
Or special.
Special.
Listen, Pops.
You should have seen by now on social media
have to leave that in for the intro.
that today's episode is the beginning of a spectacular series, the Jack Black Showdown series. I have affectionately named us three the My Life, Your Life Together Movie Squad. Movie Squad?
Movie Squad.
Baller. So we compiled every Jack Black major credit minus sequels, and you'll see what I mean shortly, minus sequels, into a spinny wheel of destiny. And then
Wheel of Destiny.
two features Jack Black has had in pretty dope TV shows for a total of 32
We have a guest.
cinematic television
It's
addict
been a while, man.
beautifulness. And we're going to do head-to-head contests. We're going to
Hello.
grade these by enjoyment,
So
rewatchability,
all of us here,
quotability,
That's an important one for me.
storyline, and I thought Nick might really appreciate this one, but how the movie would be if Jack Black wasn't in his role and somebody else
I
was.
did think that was right.
Yeah, it's
Because he brings a certain factor.
yeah.
Right.
He's the Jack Black factor.
The Jack factor.
Yes.
Jack Black.
Nope. Jack Black factor.
I'm just,
Mr. Sexy Coffee, and
Just adds rolls off the tongue better.
Zach chooses to
Before we get into it, I do want to say one thing. I think I forgot to even tell Zach this. We had an anonymous donor again to buy me a coffee.
really?
Yeah, I don't know who it was. They didn't sign their name. So whoever it was, thank you. It's support like that that makes it possible for us to do a lot of the things that are coming in the pipeline, such as remote interviews, which you'll see the first one next week. So yeah,
A lot of cool remote interviews coming.
yes. So thank you. We really appreciate that. All right. That being said, we need to get down to the business. Let's get down to business.
That is not a Jack Black movie. We are here for Jack Black movies.
Movie.
Yes. But didn't you wanna? You wanted to.
Yeah, I thought before we could begin talking about this movie, since this is our inaugural
and this is
Jack
probably
Black
gonna be
episode,
more than one episode
discuss how we were first introduced to Jack
potentially, because there's a lot
I
that
was
goes
having
into
a hard
this.
time
There's a lot
figuring out
involved in
exactly
this.
my
I would
first
say
taste
that
of Jack Black.
probably more than one episode. I don't know.
Consumed.
Like, we'll do
But
a
I
bunch
do
back
think
to
I
back,
remember.
back to back,
We're gonna do 100 episodes.
I don't know the exact one, but
I mean, we
think
could.
like back in my middle school days on the internet.
I mean, 100 over the
the
course.
Tenacious D like soundboards. Remember that? Where
Yep.
the Tenacious
Yes.
D drive-through skit where they would prank call people using the soundboard.
We're still not naked.
I
Yes.
think that was my first.
No,
Jack
but
Black.
I mean, these.
And that's when you fell in love.
Oh yeah. Well,
These
I had no
episodes,
idea who he was. I didn't know he was like an actor. I didn't know anything
I'd
about
love
him.
to
I was
do
like,
more of,
who's this
and
dude
you know,
recording
scatter them out.
I only want
throughout
4
the year. I want
episodes,
them
not
to be
6.
in
All right, give me half.
Well, there's a lot more.
Half Diet Coke.
about
Trying to watch my
2024.
figure. And then he orders like 100 things, but he's trying to watch his figure.
But yeah,
And then
I'm
Kyle
excited.
Gass orders
This is-
2 things.
This is something Zach's
They pull up,
really
he's like,
wanting to do. I mean,
Hey, got any
if
money?
you listen to the podcast from the beginning,
All right, cancel those last 2 things. So then I was like, all right, this dude's really funny. And then I heard the music and wow, this dude can actually like really sing.
that episode and
Yeah, he really is a fantastic musician. They both are.
Yeah.
If we're going down the line, I'm almost certain my first
I'm pumped for this. I'm very excited.
interaction with Jack Black was probably Nacho Libre.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Really?
yeah, because
I'm
I
glad
don't
to
know.
be
I was
here.
fairly young when that came out. Still,
She's so
And-
awesome.
That was high school days.
I don't know. I mean,
I want to say late 2000s.
I can
Probably,
I can look it up. I mean, we can IMDb it.
pre 2010, I think.
Before we get
Yeah.
into that,
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I was like a young teen, wasn't I? Nacho. 2006.
started dating.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I was
wow.
14. Which
That makes
which
me feel old.
which tracks.
Another
Um,
state.
So that was. I'm almost certain that was it. And I mean, like, and then he said,
That's what it's gonna be tonight.
I had the diarrhea since Easter's.
Yeah.
I was.
You were like,
I was
I'm
pretty.
sold.
Yeah, I was hooked on him, and then I was just like, I want to consume everything that Jack Black has to offer.
Cheaps.
Told me that we were gonna be best
And so yeah,
Yes, I
what
did.
about you?
And what did,
Mine
what did you tell me?
was School of Rock. School
Okay.
of Rock was my first introduction to what?
I don't know if it was
2003?
like You Don't Pick My Friends,
So-
something like that.
Maybe School of Rock was mine. I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think School of Rock came out like
Honestly,
03,
obviously
04.
a joke.
Oh.
But
Let's see.
the first time Zach visited,
Watch that right when
obviously he got.
Oh, it was
swallowed by a
2003.
couple of church
And
fans.
so-
Me too,
Because-
but
I was like that was also close to the time that I was
I-
kind of
I went
starting
to-
to get into
When I visited the
music.
church, it was like
So
I had,
I loved that.
Celebrities
Like
It was like
I-
he
I've
actually
never seen
started
Jack Black
dating
and-
Travis
and
Kelce.
just
Yeah.
That's what
his,
Travis Kelce felt like. Probably.
you know, like his goofy
but
style.
everyone was coming up like, you must
Like,
be
kinda
Zach. I
over-the-top
met like
antics.
50
I
people
loved it.
that all
and
knew
then
me, and I
a
had
few
no
years
idea.
later,
who they were.
Nacho Libre came out,
But
and
anyways,
I
I think
I
we just,
grew
like,
up
shook
on the
hands
board,
and
and this is
said,
what
"Hey, we
I
had, like,
tell
a
people a
32
lot
second
because I
conversation."
know a lot of people that
37?
absolutely hated Nacho Libre, and I'm like,
And,
for someone that grew up
I
on
was
the
like, yeah,
border in
he's gonna be
Hispanic
my best
culture,
friend.
like that movie was so popular, it was so funny, like it was hilarious, and so.
And then when I first moved here,
Also,
and we
after
hung
School of
out,
Rock is when
we
I
had that whole, like, Step
found
Brothers
Tenacious
moment.
D,
Did
and
we
so it was
just
very
become best
quickly,
friends?
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I became like a Jack Black.
Yeah,
You want to go to
plays
the
drums.
garage and do karate? Yup.
That's what I like most about him is I feel like
You play the drums, and I've never been allowed to touch your drums.
star.
That's true.
He also just refused
Don't
to
touch
grow
my
up.
drum set.
So he's
Yeah.
like half rock star.
I don't think you've had a chance though.
Yeah.
Funny,
Nobody invites me over.
naughty humor stuff.
Well, the last time
Like
we
he's in his
broke our
50s and
first
still
year,
pulls
so-
like dumb pranks and stuff. Like that.
No.
You gave me the oldest, rustiest chair to the fattest person, man.
Did you have something else? Or are you gonna sprinkle?
We got new
things in?
chairs.
All right. All
We
right.
got new chairs, so you can come over.
Jack.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah,
I forgot about that.
yeah. I have not, unfortunately. I was so embarrassed.
Why?
Because you just.
Do you know how many
Chair
chairs
just-
I've broken in my life? It's honestly.
It shouldn't have been on our account though.
Alright, I had to get that story in there, and that led to another funny story.
It did.
That was
Of our friendship.
Maybe we'll collaborate with them
Okay.
sometime.
Zach,
So to start us off, I just
Mr.
wanna say
Black?
this, like,
You'd like to come on the My Life, Your Life Together.
Oh,
This
it's a
is
Brad
not
Pitt
a-
movie.
theological
Mr. Black, or is it Meet Joe
podcast,
Black?
like,
Oh, it's Meet Joe Black. Never mind. Shut up. Everybody be
the thing
quiet.
that I challenge anybody when talking about anything
All right,
biblical is
guys. What movies
go
are
to
we
the Bible and
comparing?
find it for yourself.
What did the
You know,
What did the
we've-
wheel
we've
tell
done our own
us?
study, we've done our own listened to our
Juan.
own
The
teachings.
Wheel of
We
Destiny.
have our convictions and our faith on what healing is,
Oh,
what the Bible says about it.
Gulliver.
Gulliver.
I
Don't
can't
take our
talk.
word for it.
Gulliver's
Talk about it.
No, he
Travels,
won't. Gulliver's
Go to
Shut.
the
Yes.
Bible yourself, study yourself,
which
and
actually,
find what you know,
when we spun that,
what you
I had not
see in the
seen
Word,
Jack Black's
what God
version
says
of
about
Gulliver's
healing.
Travels.
So, with that,
I had never seen either one of these movies either.
starting
What?
off, I just wanted
Yeah,
to
that's what my
start
wife
off
said.
with,
What?
You know, I don't know what all.
How have y'all not
what
seen
all our
Kung Fu
listeners,
Panda?
where they're from, what their life
Um,
experience is, what their biblical
So Kung Fu
knowledge is.
Panda
I
has
just
many
wanted to kind of throw
sequels.
this
Like I
out
said,
there.
we're not going to
What
include
is-
sequels.
And
It seemed
another
redundant.
sequels.
Yeah,
What do you guys
Yeah.
believe healing is?
correct.
See what-
So
what do you guys see
only
that
Kung
healing
Fu
is?
Panda on the
The
wheel.
original.
2, 3, and any of the come after that are not.
Ho.
I feel like this is gonna be fun.
Ho de
I
Panda.
thought you took notes.
I did, but I didn't like write down his name.
The characters.
Oh yeah,
The-
I didn't write down names for it.
No, it could be vice versa.
You're like, that was funny.
Yeah,
That's,
I
that's
didn't.
pretty much what I did. I was like, oh, that part I thought was really funny.
So I had heard that Gulliver's Travels
though.
was terrible,
If
and
I could
you know,
say it,
watching it back, first impression of Gulliver's Travels. What a stupid name for something. Was it a book first, or was it like that 1939 movie?
I think it came out. I don't know if it was a
I
book first.
think
or
it
not,
was
but I
a.
know that
I'm.
was a
I'm.
super old movie.
Hold on. We'll find out. I'm pretty positive it was a book first, then they made, and there are several renditions of the movie.
All right. Well, whoever came up with the name, just like, why? Who hurt you? Because
And the full name, isn't it Lemuel Gulliver?
yeah,
That's his name, Lemuel. Yeah.
Lemuel is
Lemuel.
easier to say than Gulliver.
Yeah.
Gulliver's Travels.
I remember when this movie came out, I really wanted to see it,
2010.
but I never saw it. So this was my first time.
To pay $14 to watch it.
Actually, kind of liked it, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So I guess we want to start out with
Yeah,
like
no,
an
healing
overview of each
is-
movie, impressions,
think-
and then we'll get down to the scoring.
It can be from the most
And then
simplest
when we do our
things
base
of,
impressions, we can do
whether it's
like
a
things
cold,
we liked about
to something
it,
that's
like about it.
like almost like cancer.
What's up?
I mean,
So
healing
just some
is when
Gulliver's
it's either
Travels
supernaturally healed,
facts.
but also
It was
it's
a
sometimes it can be
satirical
instant or it can be
novel
a
from
process. And both are just
Holy
as
moly.
much of a miracle as one is the other. You know, sometimes I think.
Jonathan Swift.
Sometimes we're more amazed about the big miracles, but it starts with like the little ones of like, oh wow, this isn't sore anymore. Or, like, but healing is essentially like
I did just hear this yesterday.
like things that are
had no idea
not
who we were
right
before that.
made whole
That's-
and complete and right.
What an
And
awesome
it could be
thing to have.
emotional,
Yeah.
Like the day before we
be
record
body,
this,
soul, or spirit.
Jeopardy idea. I did it. No. So Jack Black plays Lemuel.
It's not just
Hold on.
There.
Was he a loser, or was he just somebody who was vibing through life?
tangible way to
I
see
will
it.
say that he
Oh,
was
my arm's
vibing
broken.
through
I prayed
life,
for it.
but
It's not broken
also
anymore. You know,
was just somebody
types
who
of
didn't
healing. It's the most tangible that we
That's
can
true.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
kind of like me.
experience, and you know, but it comes in
Not
all different
necessarily a
forms, emotional,
loser.
spiritual,
Somebody who didn't
mental.
really try that hard.
That's good. Okay, you're a realist.
But
I dig it.
But I'll admit it.
So he plays the titulatura character Lemuel Gulliver, and who's giving the overview?
So,
So-
it's in the mailroom at some
Some company.
paper or magazine or something.
I believe it's a magazine. Been there for 10 years. He's kind of portrayed as this adult child, not really down on his luck, but like Nick. He is in love. Jan.
I simply
No.
believe in healing
Your Majesty.
because the Lord is a healer.
Zach's gonna look up
So
names
it
for us
comes
as we
from
go
my
through
faith.
this. It's
Obviously,
gonna be
this
great.
movie was quite memorable.
And
Well, no, I don't remember names. That's dumb.
Him that I believe in healing.
And so
Um,
he wants to impress
to
her,
know
so he
him
lies
through,
about writing
the Word
credentials.
and through
And then she's
years.
like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a travel writer.
spending time with the
You know,
Lord.
write me about
But essentially,
write something about one of your
why I
travels."
believe in healing.
Darcy, way off.
Which is bad because in my notes I have her name Jane.
Wait, was the princess?
Nope. Nope. That's Princess Mary.
Yeah, guys, shut up. And so he goes home and he plagiarizes something and hands it in. Preach it. Plagiarizes, hands it in to impress the girl. She's gobsmacked by it. Sends him to the Bermuda Triangle to do a piece about an island there. And you know, he gets into a store and goes through this whole wormhole, whirlpool kind of thing. Ends up with a bunch of tiny people around.
In a kingdom.
Yes,
Tiny people.
but he's still his normal size, so he kind of becomes like a god to them. He can do anything. Yeah, and then you know there's some inner conflict in the city between him and the kingdom's general at the time, and then there's a war going on between other tiny humans, and you know through that all, Jack Black's character or Gulliver. I'm gonna call him Lemuel.
Lemuel.
Lemuel, kind of falls out of grace because he admits that he lied to the kingdom about his stature in America. He said he was the president. He said he took credit for Sweet Child of Mine, Titanic, Sweet Child of Mine. Yeah. Which is honestly like, would any of us do anything different? Like, come on, that's sick. Happenstance, Darcy ends up having to do the travel piece with him because she found out that he plagiarized, and now she can't trust him. She goes through the same whirlpool, wormhole thing. Yeah, it's brilliant. Well, actually, he didn't have service. He just got voicemails,
Yeah.
like on the way to the island, maybe, and then
Kind of the same thing.
who knows? But then there's another confrontation between him and the contentious general that had gotten into it earlier. General
But
builds a giant robot.
Kind of simple answer is I have my faith in the Bible. Says
That's
that
true.
God's a
I skipped
healer.
over that.
Hey,
This isn't a great.
He gets when he falls out of grace with the kingdom, they banish him, and he gets sucked into. He goes through the fog and goes to another island that's
Yeah, with like a bigger girl, and then he
that's
was
like
a
full
tiny
of giants,
human.
and so he's a tiny person.
Yeah, and a dead Air Force pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gianter than him.
Yeah, and there's no parents around. It's just her.
Yeah, that part was kind of weird.
It was very weird.
I'd like, I should have watched the original.
I believe
to
it because it's
see
in the word, and I
how
believe
it
it because I've seen it.
I don't.
Because I bet you it's not even close.
Probably
It's not.
With that,
Probably
I mean,
not.
the tiny people is
Right.
yeah.
I'm trying to think
Oh.
of this from
So yeah,
from
and then eventually
skeptic's
they
point of view. Not even
he beats the
skeptics, but
giant robot.
for somebody listening to this who literally like
Yeah, and
Yeah.
not that they're
he
skeptical.
falls back into the king's
just
good
never heard
graces.
about
They
it.
help build the ship.
What are these
Lemuel,
people talking
Lemuel, and
Yeah.
Darcy
Like,
go back home,
I've already said the word
and,
supernatural once.
you
and
know,
you've said the word supernatural
enter a
once
romantic
now.
relation.
Like,
Kind of
I mean, that's a big word,
starts
and I
out
feel like it's one of those
similar,
words
where
that
he's
you know,
like a dude who's
we
kinda
throw around
immature.
a lot,
I mean, panda.
but starting out
He's
with
just
a
another
topic
guy who's not really
like
living up
healing,
to
which
his
is,
dreams and living
like
up
I
to
said,
his
to
potential.
me,
He's panda. He
it's
works
a
in his
supernatural
dad,
thing,
who
even
is
if
a
it's big or
bird.
small. Like
So he works
A
in their
goose.
restaurant,
We're gonna cover that later too.
and he really wants to be
some of the things we say aren't going to make
Master.
sense to a lot
Yeah,
of people.
that is fair.
idolizes
Some of
these guys,
the
what do they call them?
things in the next question
Yeah,
we're going to answer. and
the Furious
they don't make
Five.
sense to us
I think it's
outside of
Furious
that.
Five, something like that.
It's
And
not supposed to make sense because
So-
we're trying to wrap a natural mind around a supernatural process.
he
Yeah.
manages
We've
to
said it 3 times.
find his way all by happenstance.
Hold on, I don't have that many fingers. on one
During
hand.
this big celebration where the
Picking the chosen one.
main like head kung fu master guy is going
If we
to
say
like
something and we go over something and
determine who the dragon warrior, who's this like
Dragon warrior, thank you.
prophesied,
thank you.
this prophesied warrior, and he's going up just to
What
like
did you mean by that?
Yeah.
try to get in and watch.
Sell noodles because his dad wants him to as well.
Yeah, his dad runs the noodle shop.
Their passion
So by some random happenstance, he ends up like
understand it more.
getting blown up by fireworks and stuff, and
straps
dropping out
himself
of the
to
sky.
fireworks.
So,
Tries to get a better view.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
He straps fireworks to his chair.
from my
falls
perspective
out
as,
of the
as a
sky.
Christian, basically means, God creates.
Give a gift. This
God crocheted something?
Yeah,
What did he
He
crochet?
crocheted the universe.
Wow, I thought it was soft in here.
He created the natural
then-
universe.
That resonates with
Talk
me.
about all these laws of nature, how, like,
So
God
then
created
obviously he
the
starts,
So he created
training,
our
and
bodies
also
to
at the
naturally,
same time,
heal. Like you
the
did
big
it.
bad villain who was the former like
But
kind of teacher's
supernatural
pet pupil
healing, like we're talking
who
about,
was like the prodigy
because
who had
God
turned
created the natural
evil
order of
and been
things, he can
imprisoned
also
because he turned
operate
evil and was like taking
outside
over the world.
the
was
natural
played
order
by the guy
that
who played
he
the
created.
Hot Rod.
He made the rules,
Yeah.
so he can also operate.
Oh, yeah,
That's-
Ian McShane.
Yeah.
I love Ian
That's awesome.
McShane.
I didn't know that
I was
that's
like, I know that
who the voice
from
was.
somewhere.
My favorite thing is that you said he plays the dad in Hot Rod and not like he was in Deadwood. He was in. I mean, this was after, but the John Wick movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, Hot Rod is another fantastic movie that we could do a movie review.
All these different things and give it.
But so that guy that is breaking out of prison and coming for his revenge, and like nobody can stop him. He's this wild kung fu prodigy. So they're relying on like the Dragon Warrior to defeat.
Cancer.
I can't remember
We
what
have
his
chemotherapy. We have different
his name is,
medications and
but
stuff,
the big bad.
ways to fight it.
It
And
began
then
with a T. I'm
Or there's
almost
supernatural,
certain.
the Lord just,
Tai Lung or something like that.
Yeah.
the cancer disappears.
Everybody was Kung Fu
That's- in my mind, that's what I
Panda.
think of when I think supernatural healing is something that is not within the natural order of natural human means.
Yes.
Uh,
Angelina Jolie was Tigress?
Yeah.
Oh, you're totally right. It is Tai Lung. I would
Wow.
have never gotten that right.
Dang. You're good.
I'm a Kung Fu Panda fan.
I already said mine.
Favorite.
I started with something.
Yeah.
I think I just want to add is like, healing. We believe
So,
healing.
The movie's about him.
God
as
has. We have the natural world here, but there's also the kingdom
really
of heaven, right? So we
nobody
can
thinking
believe
he's the actual
for here
dragon
on Earth
warrior
what
because
is
he
accessible
just
to the kingdom of heaven.
mistakenly
A lot of times
dropped in
we
to
think
this
of like
situation
when
and got dubbed.
we die, we go to heaven,
him
but
training
we
and
know
failing and
from our faith that the kingdom of heaven is
and-
accessible here and now. And it doesn't
right.
mean that we're going
and
to be
people like being like, no, you can't do
transported
it.
to the
and
spiritual world right
the
now.
Furious
We believe
Five,
there's
the,
the
like,
natural world and the
all the
spiritual world, which is
trained
just as real as
masters
the chair we're sitting on.
going
you
up
know?
against
And so it's
the bad
like
guy, and
we're
all of 'em
believing
getting,
for the
like,
things in the
defeated to where
spiritual realm
Poe is the
to
only
happen
hope
in the
left, and
natural
him-
realm that's available
and
to
him
us.
finding like
because
his true identity.
one, we believe it because the Lord
be
said it
able
was
to
available to us, and
unlock
now we're just contending and
his,
praying for it here in the
yeah,
natural world.
Kung Fu
And
powers.
it's like hard to get my mind to like wrap around it, but
trying
like
to
if I
find
know
a-
like there's
I'm
no
trying to
sickness
find a
or
fun
disease in
fact
heaven,
here,
because we have
and
a
I'm
perfect
just having
body in
issues.
heaven, then I can believe for that here.
Kind
Uh
of.
oh. Uh oh.
There's no.
On that note, what healings have you guys seen? Have you guys seen any healings in your own
I
lives?
thought the
Have
edit
you guys
was not
seen
bad.
any
It
healings?
wasn't bad.
I know we've had several at our church. Things like
The old eyes there.
what stories or testimonies do you guys have?
Sounds like a good time for our first Jack Black. Real name is actually Thomas.
Wow, none.
No, there's just there's
I
a
think I read
lot.
that once when I was a
I
teenager.
know the answer right
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
It flows better. No, what I realized
Right.
is
I've got one that's gonna like
the
you know,
guy
go
who
run out
plays
of the park, so I'll let
Zhang, who's in it for a short time. It's like
I'll
the
start with a
ping
really
pong guy,
simple one.
and
How about
Mr.
that?
Ping plays the blind
So, like,
grandfather of the girl.
I have a very
that,
physical
like,
job.
he falls in
So
love
when I was
with.
working, I didn't use my ergonomics, right? I didn't lift something correctly, hurt my back, really painful
Yes.
to sit. And we were at
A lot of stuff with that.
just like a
Um,
group with friends. And
So do
we
we
were
want to
praying
get down to some
for each
fun
other
facts about the
for
movies,
needs.
like our
and
impressions
I
of
went
them
to
all?
go ask
which
for
one are we
healing
starting
for
with?
my back.
Let's
and
start
before
with
I could even
Gulliver's
ask, the pain
Travels.
immediately went away.
So I wrote a few
And it
things
was like
down.
the Lord knew what I was going to ask before I even asked it. So it was really cool because it ended up becoming a testimony, and like
I
my
enjoyed it
faith
more than
was
I
built
thought
up
it would,
from
probably
that.
because
and
it
seems
was
like
so
super simple
like
because it was just pain in my
vehemently
back from
spoken
lifting something
against as like a
incorrectly,
horrible
but
movie.
like
But
it
I'm
really
like,
happened, and it's something very tangible.
it's a mid 2000s Jack Black movie.
Right.
Like, what do you want?
I just thought it was
I
like,
mean, like-
funny and relatable. Like he's playing Sweet Child of Mine there, pretending he wrote
like
it.
that.
Like he's going through. He's
One,
as a
because
a made up
you said you
theater.
didn't
He's
even have
watching
to
Star
ask.
Wars. And like that resonates with
You were
me
about
as
to
someone who
ask.
grew up in.
and then you got healed of it. And, you know,
See, so
pain is
I had an
it's
interesting,
not something that just goes away.
I guess,
you know,
reaction or
like
response
anybody
to
who's
this
had any back
movie.
strain or anything, any back
One,
injury, you
for
know,
the reason
either-
that
either
I have seen the original.
ice,
Well, not the original, not the 1939, but like the 1996 Gulliver's Travel movie
Yeah.
that was more popular. So I think,
What's going on?
yeah. So I think that kind of tainted
I mean, I've seen some.
my. This was
like,
like
healing
if this movie was not trying to recreate another story.
I think I talked
I think I would have
about it on the
loved this movie and thought it was funny and hilarious.
Yeah.
But because I know the original story, I was like, you're taking a story and like almost dumbing it down and taking a story and just throwing
Holy Spirit encounter nights.
Jack Black's antics into a story,
Getting,
which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I see why
it was
people didn't
debilitating
like it,
to the point
you
where
know.
it's just
Yeah.
especially if you know the
Yeah, I
original
get it.
story.
physically.
I kind of looked at it from the
And you know, I listen, I still take an anxiety medicine
Jack Black
right now.
in these movies. So I was like,
I was taking it then
which
too, and it
is
was
a
still
more Jack Black-esque movie. And I
That's a
thought
good
that,
point.
I thought that he
And
was like the impression that I got based off of these two movies
Pastor Matt
was that it was more like he
prayed
got to
and
be more
it was
himself
like an instant
Definitely.
in this movie.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't
The
geared to
lifting
as
off of
young
it.
of an audience.
And
you know, there's
yeah,
there's
sometimes
like some crass humor.
still get a
There's
little limp.
there's some swearing.
you know,
There, you know,
I still tend
it's
to
still
worry
definitely
about
like a
things,
younger
There's him
audience.
peeing on people.
I was like,
life
it is
changes.
kind of dumb, but it was pretty funny.
But
to
it's
be
not.
done.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I thought
That was the thing I put down. It was really funny.
Yeah.
It's not affecting
I love T.J. Miller was in it.
my job or anything like that.
Yeah. When just the interview process.
Yeah.
When it's like, I forget what Jack Black said or Lemuel said, whatever. It's like people are born in 1990, and T.J. Miller's like, yeah, well, people born are every year. So he's like, good, you're hired. And T.J. Miller's like, I was hired yesterday by Human Resources. Then at the end of the day, he's like, by the way, I'm your boss now.
Yeah. When Jack Black is in there playing Guitar Hero on the clock.
And the comments that he says as he's walking out and like the scene's ending, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna be making some changes." First of which is no Guitar Hero during work hours.
I thought it was funny. There was little things in it, and Jason Segel is in it. That surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea he was in it.
That was fun. I like Jason Segel and Emily Blunt.
And
That was
Emily
great.
Blunt, she did a
Yeah, she was
fantastic
good.
job.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Fran from the. Is it Fran from The Office?
Yes,
She comes in the later
Yep.
seasons. Yeah.
Steps and levels of it.
She was the king. She was the queen.
Yeah.
The king's wife.
Oh, yes. I knew I recognized her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then
Okay.
Billy Connolly, like,
Yeah.
who's just
Yes.
a powerhouse actor. Like, there's some giant names in this movie.
Yeah, overall,
Right.
I liked it. I thought it was
I think that is very interesting though. Is
more than
like
I thought. Like, I
through different
thought-
processes, there's also
Same.
healing.
Some of it I
it's
was like,
not just
all right,
somebody
that's just
prayed
kind of
for
stupid.
me.
But
'Cause
again,
I can
looking at it from
remember
the perspective of
an
appealing
instance where it was like
as
a
a
6 month
children's
process
movie,
of me
probably.
forgiving somebody that I was.
I actually, the
healed
more that
in my
we're
physical
talking about it
state.
in that light,
and it
and
was
I
very
think
interesting because it
you,
was a
what you
process
said about
of learning how to
looking at it
forgive,
as a
and in
movie
that
for
in
Jack
that
Black, like, what
forgiving,
his
I
role
actually
in it, that
physically
actually
was
makes
healed
me
and didn't
enjoy it
realize it. But it was
more.
like 6
because
months,
I
and
think
so healing
I
can
came
come in
at
ways
it
like
originally
you
from
just don't
a,
even
oh,
imagine.
I'm looking
I didn't
at it
think
from the story of
it,
Gulliver's
I didn't think
Travels,
my
and that
having
made
to
me like,
forgive somebody
but
would
why did-
actually heal me physically,
This is just
and it
like
was very
dumbing
that
down
was
to it,
very
but looking at it-
transformational for me.
right.
You know.
But looking at it from a, this is a Jack Black movie,
So,
which obviously I, you know,
testimonies just from
the
our
whole point of this,
church
but
is,
there, even with that other perspective, I did enjoy a lot of parts of it. Now that we're talking about it, I'm enjoying more stuff as I'm thinking through the movie because of,
It all depends on the lens you watch it.
yeah.
and went to the hospital. for
Obviously,
scans, and when they
If
did
we're gonna
scans,
say
they
which of the two
found
is a
a
better
tumor.
movie, I think
Kung
obviously
Fu Panda.
Panda is a
And when they
better
were,
movie.
and also if I missed,
Listen, we gotta get to the grading to decide which is the better movie.
That's true.
That's why that's why the grading is gonna be structured and not just pure opinion. Yeah.
Opinions, all that matters.
but
See, my third note when he's going through the storm on the boat, he said he put on
Oh yeah, I thought that was
So-
funny too.
he put on all the floaties.
And he puts one on his head.
This was so funny because us, like me, Jamie, Jordan, Jovo, and a couple other friends were out on a boat like a few summers ago, and we had a tube to be pulled behind the boat. And I guess it wasn't graded to be pulled behind the boat, and so it immediately popped.
Inner tube and
tumor was completely gone. And
Yeah, it immediately popped. And so we're out on this boat. We were looking forward to tubing. Like, what do we do? So we took every life vest, and I'm gonna ask Joe if I can include the picture for during the video. He might not want it for valid reasons. We put every life vest we could have, and then Joe jumped off the boat and just held onto a rope with all the life preservers on. And
was a human tube.
yeah, he was just a human tube. And I just got really loud in my ears. But yeah, he was a human tube. It was an awful, awful decision. He almost drowned. So
With
then-
all the life preservers.
yeah, well, because
Careful, kids. Life preservers can
because-
make you drown.
like we
Too many.
we
Too many of a good thing.
yeah we booked it, and then it almost like went to his bottom half, so his top half was underwater.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
and so it was just like. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was hilarious. So as soon as I saw him put all them on, I just saw like
He didn't
Joe
die.
in the movie of Gulliver's Travels. I'm like, yeah, Joe did not die. He's float.
he's been on the podcast. He's alive and well.
Yeah, it was
Which
10
leads
days
me to
later.
yeah,
My fourth question I put here,
the hospital and they're doing
and this is a serious question.
and
You see Jack Black's butt crack in the movie.
It absolutely is his.
Was it Jack Black's or is it body double? Is he too famous for that?
in there and
Okay, I've seen videos in the like TikTok, Vine,
like no, like it's wired into your
YouTube era of Jack Black
can't just
running
detach
around
and fall off.
in
Would
the
have pulled
buff.
out your heart.
I'm
then they did scans and also said.
What you're saying is,
Like
what you're
a-
saying is, you can identify Jack Black by his butt crack.
No.
I think that's what he said.
Whatever is.
Yeah, that's definitely what he said. Farrah.
I definitely could not, but to put it out there, he is comfortable with his body.
That's very true.
And
Both on the same insulin pump.
Yes.
I said, when I get healed, I want that to happen to my pump. I just want it to disappear.
Hey.
So like when I reached
And
down my
arguably, you
pocket,
show butt crack
where my
because you already have
pump
too
always
much
is,
dough.
I just want it to be empty. Like my pocket would just, my pump won't be there anymore.
But that was like an instant, genuine question that popped into my head when I saw the butt crack. I was like, "Do you think it's like he's not above
Do you
that?
guys have any other
That's
stories?
Jack Black."
We had Pastor Matt's list. We
Yep, none of those thoughts popped
Yeah.
into my mind.
5 hours.
healing the last years at the
Oh, for sure.
To put that to mention, I'm pretty sure that's actually also in the original.
I have one.
Is peeing to put out the fire?
All the things
That's
that
sick.
You could have told me.
Okay.
Not
So this actually happened when I was young. I was like
peeing the fire out.
7, 8, or 9. My family was going to a church.
But think about it. If you were a giant human and these tiny people's houses are on fire and you can't find a source of water,
We actually like rented a
Can't
venue.
find a source of water. He was like
Still very like close knit.
from the ocean.
There's a
that's
guy
Yeah.
at our-
that's fair.
our
That was
church
my thought. I was like,
he's
That's what I was like. Oh, he's gonna go to the ocean, like put it in his mouth or something.
yeah,
Just be like,
something like that.
in his legs. And
well, that part made me
so
laugh because again, my brain
he
went
rode
right
around
to
in a motorized
like that's
wheelchair.
James Corden and Billy Conway.
And
Like to like
he
I
had
imagine
been
them
in a
pitching the script to
wheelchair
them, be like, all right, guys,
for
in this
10
scene,
years.
Jack Black is gonna pee on you,
A giant
and it's
Jack
gonna be
Black.
hilarious.
So bad.
And then Billy Connolly, who's been in so many movies, is just like,
Um,
yes.
and you could see
I'd try to do a
his
Scottish
legs
accent, but I can't,
had
so
no
never mind.
muscles.
Or Irish accent.
it literally was just like skin and bone and vascular system.
That wasn't close. All right, you guys are laughing. You try it. Irish accent with yes. No. If you're gonna laugh that hard, do it.
No, because I know I can't
Do it.
Friday night, we had a
Just say yes.
prayer service for healing, and everyone was praying. For
That was
him.
Scottish. That was Sean Connery.
I guess it was.
It
Sean Connery.
counts.
That was
Sean
like-
Connery.
Stuff, and
Still counts.
he,
But yeah, I mean the
said he
peeing on,
went home.
and then the statue of
I thought that was
the
funny,
ice
too. I noticed
statue.
that.
The
of
ice
him
statue
peeing at the
of him
banquet.
being at the feast afterwards was really funny.
He said
That was pretty quick. I like to
said
think
this
they had a
healing
statue of
service was
somebody
good, the
peeing
prayer was
already on
good,
hand.
and
Yeah, right.
He went home
I was thinking at that banquet, I was like, what are they gonna
and went to bed
possibly
that
have enough
night.
food for someone?
Yeah,
that's
how do
sick?
you
Right.
get full?
And he picks up that, well, what to them was a big punch bowl, and he picks it up and is like, and I'm like, that would have been like, it's not even a shot. Yeah, it's like a couple drops.
Everything in his legs and his feet, he couldn't feel.
I have
through his
down.
feet. So he said that he
He yells
his legs,
when
threw
he
him over the edge of the bed, like he
the-
always does.
the general who doesn't
Feet
like
hit the
Lemuel
floor.
brings down the city's defenses, and so the
Stopped
enemy
for a
city
second
can
and thought,
attack.
and then he goes, huh.
And so then he challenges Lemuel to walk out and basically
And he was-
fend
he
off
was like,
this attacking city.
That's
And so
wild.
he like wades out
he
into the
hasn't felt
water,
that in years. He
shirtless,
hasn't had feeling in his feet.
Bay,
And he said-
Baywatch
Because
ass.
they're attacking
really.
from the sea. With
Yeah,
like,
they're attacking from the sea. I
Shit,
guess
it's-
that's important.
like
it's
he
like
had
1700s kind of like
Cannons.
pirate
and-
ship
yeah.
style.
And so he goes out there,
Wow.
and they open fire with the cannons on him.
And he said he
And
just sat
obviously
there,
it just
looking
it
at
doesn't
him
hurt
for a
him
while.
because
What
he's
do
so
I do? Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's the point where
And
he like
so
says,
he said
"I'm
eventually
invincible."
he
And whenever I hear those
operated, he
words, I
goes,
think of
"Well,
Boris from
I'm gonna give it a
Goldeneye.
shot. And he
Wow.
stood up and
That-
started walking around. And so
Wow.
it was wild from my perspective. We had,
The movie.
there was a prayer
He goes,
night.
"I am
Friday,
invincible!"
church
and
on
then there's
Sunday,
like an
and I'm already
explosion.
sitting there.
and
Like they're
he's-
already
and he
playing
dies.
worship. Like worship's
Oh,
already going.
okay. Well,
And I see the
no, we're
different
not
players
because that's a
sanctuary.
great
And all of a sudden this
reference,
guy
and it's not my fault you guys
I've always
don't
seen
know it.
rolling in in his
I did think it was funny
motorized
though.
wheelchair. Comes running down the aisle. He ran down the aisle to the front and just starts like jumping and dancing and going crazy. And I'm like 8-year-old
So,
being
but
like,
that's also
what is going on?
very
oh my
Jack.
god!
He makes fun of his own
Wow.
weight all the time
Wow.
in like every movie.
Wildest, most
That's really cool.
Yeah.
the most.
Cause I'm sexy
I don't know how to
and
put it,
chubby,
because all
man.
healings are miraculous. All
You're
healings
fat and you have body odor. See me after class.
When it became
the
real
most
for you.
evident one,
School of
you
Rock
know,
quotes.
that I I've seen from that point
Wow.
on. Like,
Yeah, the
if
music.
Oh, the
was
music
scored.
was
anyone
great.
in the world
Yeah.
can tell me, oh, healing's not real.
And that's
wish
to
we
be
did that.
expected with Jack.
You're
Black.
absolutely 100%
Yeah,
You know.
for sure.
Yeah.
there is no way ever that any science can explain how that happened overnight. You know.
Yeah. And that's the thing about healings like that. Is,
Oh,
somebody
Hitch.
He plays Hitch for
say,
Jesus.
oh, I had a cold and then I got
It doesn't
perfect.
work because he gives horrible advice. You do realize
The peasant
that-
and the
that-
princess.
But it does work
It
eventually.
works eventually, but it works.
That
when
could
Jason
be it.
Segels, like,
I don't believe that's it.
sucked. I mean,
But
myself.
when you have someone
Yeah.
who's been in a wheelchair for 10 plus
I
years,
did. I actually really did
their
love
guy hasn't
the
used
scene
that,
where
you know,
the peasant guy is there trying to talk to the princess on the balcony, and Jack Black's hiding behind the building and like giving him
Feeding him
the lyrics
Prince
of
song.
yeah,
I thought that
a
was
Prince
hilarious.
song.
Running and jumping,
Yeah.
dancing.
And it was
It was working.
yeah,
Prince was smooth.
It's stories like that that like
Yeah.
yeah.
Watch out for. No, never mind.
we hold on to
Um,
because healing is real.
I mean,
Yeah.
see, I called her Jane right there, and you can tell I was taking notes as I watched.
I think Angelia probably
Maybe.
you know,
What's your name,
I don't
Darcy?
feel
You
anything.
can tell I was writing
Smallest thing to the
notes
biggest thing.
while I watched the movie because I
all
literally
the
said
deities,
when
ground
Gulliver
breaking, news
fights
breaking,
the mech
But
robot again at the end.
we're
It's
gonna see
after
those
he
two
realizes
because that's
Darcy's on
way
the
letting us know that
island and he
it is me.
sees her
Mhm.
Yeah.
imprisoned and chained and stuff.
It's not anything else.
And
It's
so
really
he
cool
frees all the
because
little
it's by
people,
happenstance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the miniature people,
Yeah.
the miniature people,
Yeah.
Obviously, that came
the miniature
before
people.
that
And
guy
then, like,
was
it goes off
huge.
to
I mean,
him
to
fighting
get
the mech
ability
robot.
to
And I
walk
typed,
back
why
and
wouldn't Gulliver
it's
free
massive.
Darcy to make it 2 verse
Healing
1
of the
against the
headache
mech? And then dot dot
is
dot
just
because
as
it shows
important for that
Darcy
person,
off
too,
to the sides.
you know.
Oh, he
I
did
think-
dot dot dot. Why isn't she helping him?
I think sometimes we
Because
forget
it's his fight.
You know.
It
He's
doesn't
got to
matter.
prove
Yeah,
himself.
the healing
But I
to
feel like
be-
that dude.
the crazy thing, like my pump did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it also came out like that dude was cheating too because he like electrified.
In my elbow, and it went away.
Although,
But
was it
Jason
cheating?
Segel's
That's a big
character
deal for
went
that.
and helped him.
So
I did
I
think
just think
that. I think it was that scene where
Yeah.
she's like off
I think it's a
watching.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Regardless
for
of
sure.
What
I was
level
trying to
of
be as
healing it
generous
is,
as I could
I
have
think
when
it's
the movie
awesome.
came out. Like,
They were the end of the budget.
yeah, that
Now.
that was pretty bad.
For our next question. and
There
this one's
actually,
gonna be
yeah,
really
there was not a lot
interesting.
of great
Especially coming
CGI in that
from
movie. There was some wonky
So,
stuff.
the next question is what negative
I did-
all their budget
have you had with healing miniatures?
That's true.
So I'm really
Factual.
interested to see the perspective, especially with
I did
my
still
wife,
like
who's part of a healing
going back
team,
to the
healing ministry,
shirtless fight
and then for Zach
against
and
all
I
the
with
boats.
The prayer for healing
All
belief.
the cannonballs hit him and then bounce off and hit like half the boats. And then he's like, "Oh wait, I'm big," and he just grabs all of them by their anchor lines and just drags all the boats out. I loved that where he's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
I like when
Well-
he first went out there. He was like, "Hey,
Type one
they want me to come out here and destroy
podcasts
all
and we've had some real,
I really don't want to do that.
real weird.
I'm just gonna pretend.
I feel like my answer
you
is
guys
gonna
can
be
turn around and be like,
easier and more
tree.
mundane.
And of course they did.
Viewers.
but he's just sitting there like splashing."
Yeah, like I used to do in the pool when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, sell it, make it look good."
Yeah.
When I was 12,
All right. Well, I think
and
that
by then
just about covers
we had left
rating here.
our
I mean,
home church.
do we want to mention the island with
which is
the
very,
giant
um,
child girl? That was a really
What do we mention
weird,
about it?
disjointed.
I mean, if you guys
part.
have something to talk about, that was just weird.
I
And
was
it's
just really confused.
Which
by
is
that.
the
Is there
truth.
anything like that in the
I mean, if I remember correctly, in the original, he goes to 2 different islands, and one's miniature people where he's a giant, and then he goes to another island where he's a miniature people among giants.
church where
But there was more to it than just he
Sunday
gets,
church,
where he gets captured by this giant
the Holy Spirit.
child
Um,
put in her dollhouse.
so
The
I landed at,
Air Force pilot who's
I wasn't.
dead and
I was familiar with a
skeleton
lot of things,
inside his flight suit now was kind of
gung ho.
interesting but weird and creepy at the same time.
I thought he was gonna take the helmet. Honestly,
I was hoping he was
like he
gonna
took the
take it.
parachute, and I was like, oh, I thought he was just gonna take the helmet, get some head protection for the mech fight.
I can say this with like a little smile on my face. That
So do we want to rate like out of
negative things.
5 or out of 10?
The healing
Let's do
ministry.
it out of 10.
Out of 10.
Okay. So
And
down the line,
I'm sure the
Zach,
stories Zach
enjoyment rating 1 to 10. 1 being the least, 10 being the most.
It's not.
I would say
Um,
I would say a 6. Like there were parts that I enjoyed, but overall it was kind of a wonky.
So,
Not my favorite.
to be honest,
Yeah.
I personally don't have
Um,
any negative
I'm.
experiences.
I mean, we can do
know of a lot of
decimals here,
negative
by the way.
experiences,
Yeah.
Do you
but
want
I
to
think
stick?
6.34. I'm just
No.
kidding. No, stick with 6.
How many decimals can we go?
Also, I just wanted to say, with the
I would
with
give
this
it a
question,
5, probably
my
5.3, if I'm being
is
honest.
not to bash anybody.
Give it a 5.3 because
Not
I
to
did
tear
enjoy
anybody
it,
down, make anybody
and I don't want to get
look
ahead of
bad.
myself, so
My
I'll just leave
intent
that. I
is
did
to
enjoy it.
share some experiences, so if there are people that
Okay.
are either struggling with, you know, needing healing,
Okay.
and have
Next up
maybe
is
been
the
through some of
enjoyment
these
fact.
different
Not enjoyment.
perspectives, or
Rewatchability.
for people involved in healing ministry to understand, like,
Give it
hey,
a 1. I
maybe
probably
look at
won't
the
watch it
biblical
again. Maybe, but
Yeah.
You know,
probably not.
ways that healing occurs, what the Lord says about healing before you start making comments.
Mm.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
it's to bring awareness so that things can be done correctly and biblically, and
Okay.
to understand kind of how.
Yeah,
that
I was gonna give it.
affects,
I was gonna
especially
give
for
it a
someone
3,
like
just a
Zach and I,
flat
who
3.
Still believe in
Um,
healing, believe
'cause
we are going to be
I don't know.
healed,
I just feel like
have had
I'm gonna indoctrinate my
prophetic words,
child to
promises,
watch
things
Jack
like that
Black,
about
and this is
healing,
an easy move to start out with because it is
but
for the
haven't
most part
seen it
child
yet, you know.
appropriate.
That is its own
Quotability.
for,
So how many quotes
you know,
can we take from this
years.
movie and
But
use in our daily lives?
So, the way I think about it,
it's dangerous for people to assume.
honestly, there's not very many quotes from this movie that pop up. Like when I watch Nacho Libre, when I watch School of Rock, when I watch Jumanji with Jack Black, like all of those movies, instantly there are
I've had
quotes,
a lot of wild experiences because I've been a part of a lot of different ministries.
and it is in your head. This one,
And
I gotta give it another 1. Like even as I was watching the movie and thinking about quotes, like nothing stuck to where right now
obviously don't have faith.
all I can think of is
It must
boosh,
be your fault because you don't have faith.
Boosh was a good one.
and
Are
that's
you
the
gonna
only
stick with
quote.
1 though?
I'm gonna stick with 1. It's not very quotable.
Oh, you must have some.
Yeah,
hidden
I
sin.
feel like because a
You must
lot of the
have
things
whatever it
he
is, just
does,
confess it right now. You must
he's-
have some hidden
Oh,
sin.
no.
Go confess it right
he's
now.
already quoting
Maybe
something
people
that's
don't like
happened, but he's saying it to
If
the
it-
island
if it
people
were
that don't know
easy,
it.
if
So
it were
in terms
that
of
simple,
original
we would do
quotability,
that?
I would
Oh,
also.
dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather
look
have
it, we
this
got a unanimous
illness
decision.
for 22 years and pay
And
thousands and thousands
I'm gonna
of
try to have
dollars
these written up in
than
cool
just be
looking
like, oh, yeah,
scorecards
no,
that
I
I'll
got
put
this
on
hidden
the
thing that
video as well.
On the screen.
Ugh.
Where are they gonna
Um,
be? Are they gonna be up here? Or are they gonna be down
or be
here?
like,
It's gonna
why
be
haven't
the-
you forgiven?
the
Which
full screen.
forgiveness is a
Oh,
part.
it's
So
gonna,
these
like, cut
things that
out
I'm
our
mentioning,
faces.
Faith,
Yeah.
hidden sin,
Yeah.
forgiveness are a part.
That's what I would
and
look for.
can
Do I want to pitch
affect
about right now?
healing.
But not
There's
always.
Guys,
hindrances to
Yeah.
healing,
The sand,
but not always.
crew necks,
So-
don't show armpit sweat.
They look
And-
fire.
Biblical
And fun
knowledge
fact,
with some,
I figured out
power
a
of the
new
Holy
way
Spirit
for
to
shipping
don't
and
start
printing, so
accusing people
prices did come down a little bit. Check out the
praying
Etsy
for
store.
them for
Yeah.
healing. That's not true, Christ. That's, Holy Spirit.
Factual,
true.
factual statement.
If you want,
Must have
Yes,
hidden
it's like a custom,
must have hidden
personalized.
sin.
yes, my natural musk.
I must.
Um,
like, I was
storyline.
11 when I was diagnosed. What, like, horrible
This
hidden
is a
sin
tough one
did I
for
have?
this. I think.
This one's
But it's not an original story.
right.
Come on.
And
Days for me.
do you
Yeah.
grade it on the
Yeah.
overall storyline, which, like we
I'm
just
so
said, is not an
happy-go-lucky
original story,
in
or
this
do you grade it on what they did
And then,
with the way that they
I
modified the
did have one
story?
interesting
You have to do it that
experience,
one.
though, with a leader,
The modifications?
a youth leader at one of the churches that I went to.
Yeah, I'd say stand
was
alone.
praying for me once.
Even if you know the
and
story
he never
and the storyline has changed, like we're not comparing it to the original storyline. The storyline that is in this movie. How do you like? How much do you like it?
So I would say I actually do like the storyline. I do like the concept of this, traveling and getting sucked into, this wormhole, whatever, warp to different lands with different.
Yeah.
It's a cool
Yeah.
concept, and I like I said, I think the
Oh,
one thing that
yeah.
kind of got me was the differences between the original and the Jack Black remake. So I actually do like the storyline and think even if I'd only seen the Jack Black one, I would have enjoyed it probably even more. So I would say I'd give it a 7 for storyline. I think it's an interesting concept.
Zach is not a fan of decimals, apparently.
Corrected him, and he wanted to do it. To like
You guys only did decimals on your first ones.
Yeah.
But still, that's
Ha!
one more
And
than
that's
you.
also another part.
Um,
Someone that prays for people. and
I did like the storyline as well. Like
talk on this a little bit
that
more.
was
As
one
the
of the
person
I don't want to say
ministering
redeeming
and
qualities because again I
praying,
don't think it was a bad movie.
arguably,
So
have your faith
I would
is
give the
more
storyline like it had good. I mean, it was. You could predict that there was going to be a peak, then he was going to get caught, and there was going to be a trial, and then it was going to culminate at the climax, and it was all going to be great. So
But that's also basic
Yeah.
storytelling.
so, but I think it was done well though. So I was also going to give it a 7.
What does the word actually say about healing? And there's lots of different things, you know.
Even though I've never seen the original,
And
but I like
I would
the things that they threw in there, like when
just, I want to share, like,
Yes.
if you
Yeah.
Obviously,
read
that
the
stuff wasn't
Gospels
in
and
the
look at
original.
how
I thought
Jesus
that was
healed,
one of
if
my
you read
favorite parts.
the New
Yeah.
Testament, see how
Yeah.
They built
different
a
apostles
theater,
healed.
and he had these little guys
There are certain
Acting
things that
out.
Star Wars
you
hold
should
up
do,
little
but there's
fake
no,
Darth Vader
like,
masks.
1, 2,
And then
3
the big reveal that
step to
Darth Vader
getting
is Luke's
healed.
father.
Like, the Lord did it a dozen different ways with a dozen
I
different
yeah, I like
Mm-hmm.
that. Not to cut you off, but I'm going
so that
to.
it's not a
Um,
checklist of
I like the Titanic one where he's
I
like,
did
wait a
too.
minute, you died? He's like, yeah, but they resuscitated me. I did die,
Well-
but they brought me back to life.
And the fact that he passed those stories off not as like, oh, these are fun stories for my land. Like, no, this was my
This
life.
was me.
Yeah.
In all of that.
I was Jack from Titanic. I was Luke from Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Playing music.
I haven't personally had any negative experiences. I've heard a lot of negative experiences about a healing team,
Beautiful.
but
All right.
Just
being
next
on
question.
a healing team, I think it's important
it's super
to
important.
remember,
Go ahead.
like, we can't answer for God. Like, people come up looking for answers, and sometimes we can't give
So
it to
the
them, and
question
sometimes
for-
it's best
for the
not to give it
viewers
to 'em 'cause
is,
we don't know
How
ourselves.
would the
And so I
movie
feel
be
like a lot of that
without
negative
Jack
experiences
Black
comes
in
like
his
when we're
role?
trying to create an answer for why we're not seeing a result that we personally want. And so I feel like that's
Jack Black's
where
role in
a lot of
this.
those negative experiences come. But
Because then we
I
can
know a
give
lot of
give a
times when
number.
I'm like, I see the same person coming up for prayer, and I'm like, all right, Lord, is this on me? Like, if I'm praying
Yeah.
for someone, do I not have
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
faith? You know what? Let me partner my faith with
I
theirs.
say
Let
it
me
like that
partner
so I
with
don't
their
have to
faith
believe
instead.
Yeah.
And again, there's so many different things that can
I
go
think
into
the
why
way
or
that
why
this
not
movie was
someone is healed,
written
but
to be
we
a
can't
comedic
point a finger and
telling
praise.
of
Like, that's huge.
a
You
modern
can't do that.
comedic
And I
telling
think
of
that's
this,
I think the biggest thing is
hundreds
sometimes
years
it's just
old
best to keep your
story.
mouth shut because I don't really know. You know,
I
don't know
don't
the
think
answer.
anybody else
I
could
can
have
know
done
what
it
the
like
word
Jack.
says and how I
Like,
can
you
pray
take
for
Seth
somebody,
Rogen
and
and
that's
put
the
him
only
in
thing in
there,
that
you know,
Well,
moment.
that's
you
who I was
take-
thinking of
do.
too.
You know,
And
none
unless
of-
I really
they
feel like
wouldn't
it's from
pull
the
it
Lord,
off the
which
way
the Lord
that,
edifies,
you know, you take Zach
encourages,
Galifianakis,
Not up to the
comforts,
standard
and
of it.
unless
Yeah,
it's a
it would
word
not
of-
have
of
been-
edification, encouragement, or comfort. I'm
right.
not going to.
I think Jack
know?
Black,
And
for
if
the
it
way
is
that
something
they
of
wrote this
correction,
movie,
you need to grab
was
Pastor or Lee and talk to
absolutely
them about it before
essential.
doing that, because
So I
that's
will
not
give it
that's
a
not when someone comes up for
9.9.
prayer. That's not my place, you know. And I think that's important to remember. And as people, sometimes we can forget that
And
when we're
there's your
praying for
decimal.
someone because we want to see healing so bad,
It's
but
tough,
it's not
because I
us
feel
that's
like
giving the
I
healing; it's
should
the
give it a
Lord.
10,
Like
'cause that's
sometimes
what
I'm
I
like, all right,
believe.
my faith, their
But I
faith,
feel
and
like
we're just gonna have the Lord
saying
do
it's 10.
whatever He's gonna do. But I think the biggest thing is like trying to remember, like, we don't know the
Yeah.
answer, and when we try and give an answer of
Yeah.
why the Lord does or does something, we can hurt somebody, you know.
No one could do.
Yeah.
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 I don't even remember
I'm
the context of it, but when
I think I'm going to give it an 8,
Chris came to that small group,
which is still a pretty high score.
he was wondering
But
something.
I think there are other actors who, if they were in it, I would have still watched the movie eventually.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, it's not like you said, it's not our place. It's like
All right.
you stay in the
Kung Fu
gap
Panda.
and you.
I took less notes because it was a better movie. No, I like, so
Yeah, we recapped
yeah,
it.
we
Fantastic movie.
I was drawn into this movie more.
Right.
The first thing I wrote
Yeah.
down. What's up with animated films and just any animal can have any animal as a child?
Oh,
So, hold on. There's a there.
But the table itself. No. Nope.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Ah.
The table itself isn't really healing me.
Something.
And neither am I.
Right.
Are you even my real dad? Or
Yeah.
something like that?
I'm just
Yeah.
a conduit.
Spoiler alert. He's not. Yeah, he's adopted. So
Let me
it's
guess. Hold on a second. Let me guess. I don't know if I want to guess.
Yeah.
But
No.
I'm thinking
I
that
think
his
that is-
actual
That's
panda
super
parents
big.
were like kung fu
It was
masters.
awesome.
I'm not confirming or denying any of that because you guys need to watch the sequels.
I am gonna.
Well, I think it also comes
because they're
from a
actually
place of,
really
like,
good. As
you know,
far
we've
as
all been hurt,
animated
right?
series
And,
that
like,
have
the last
sequels
thing we
and
want to do
multiple
is hurt
sequels,
somebody else. So
I think Kung
I
Fu
want to make
Panda
sure
is
we're
one
not
of
doing
the
that.
best
They came out for healing, not to get hurt more.
But
So, you know,
I
so I
also
don't want
thought-
someone to
I do
leave
like
feeling
it though
like
how they leave that,
hurt or like,
in and
or
kinda
even I don't want to be the
open-ended.
reason for their healing
Yeah.
process to take longer.
and it's just
you know?
like
I want to
it's
make
this
sure
weird,
that
quirky, funny.
either
like,
they're gonna get healed now,
How are you-
or it's a speedy recovery. You know, I want to build their faith and have them walk out
because
with.
it's this little
a
goose
higher
and this
faith, you know?
giant, big old fat panda.
So I'm gonna make sure that when I'm praying for somebody for
That answers
healing,
that.
like my heart's in the right spot, and I'm like basically humble. Of like I don't know all the answers, and like
So good.
you know,
David Cross is hilarious.
Healing for to begin with anyway. They may have come up for a headache, not realizing that.
Oh yeah.
Their faith or soul, spirit, mind.
I loved
needed
Master
that,
Oogway.
Master Oogway is top notch.
story.
Is that's the turtle, right?
Yeah.
Master Oogway. Because he's just like
A different thing.
this
Yeah.
kooky
Yeah.
old like.
yeah.
So,
He says these kooky lines, and sometimes you're like, is that wisdom or is that just crazy old man speak? Yeah. Is that wise or is that senile? That's a great way to put it.
so that's why you
That's like life.
Yeah.
Meet an old person.
assume the
I
What was the
responsibility of the knowledge of what exactly has to be done.
Yeah.
Shifu?
Shifu.
Master Shifu.
I think goes
Yeah.
back. I mean, exactly to what you said.
I applaud his effort for
when
trying
you
to bring the
come up
noodle
with-
cart up the
when
stairs.
someone comes
Oh
up
my
with
gosh.
That was so funny, and like it actually
to
got
be
me
almost them trying to
because he's
justify
like bringing.
making
There's a
excuses,
point where
figuring
like
out
the
something
whole
something didn't
village is
happen,
gathering up
it
to
was
watch,
given
you know,
this
ceremony for the
Coronation of the
And
dragon.
of
that
the
was
dragon
actually one of the
warrior.
things that helped me
And
get
so,
over some of these hooks from things
Poe,
that people
Jack Black's character, his
said
name
was
is
someone
Poe.
pointed out.
His father tells
them
him to
making
take the noodle cart and
those
make a
comments
bunch of money selling noodles.
Really just
He's
points to
okay,
their
and
lack of
he gets
faith
in this like there's
and
just
how
stairs
they,
on stairs. It's like the never-ending staircase in
cover
Mario.
whatever's happening with them while they're
And it shows him
struggling
like
with the fact
dragging the
that,
cart
oh, I
up.
prayed and
And I'm
nothing happened.
my first thought was, why doesn't he just sell it at the bottom?
And so,
but- Yeah,
yeah, exactly what you said. If you don't
yeah,
see
but
it,
it's easier for someone
And
to
it's
carry a bowl
like
of noodles than him to do the cart.
Walking up 10,000 steps.
Yeah. It's hard for us as Americans because we have the answer for
Yep.
everything,
Yeah.
or at least we
And
think
then,
so
like,
because we can
it shows,
Google
like, a
it. You
zoomed
know,
in version.
we have immediate answers. But you know, if we
Picture of
haven't,
him on the stairs
there's-
with the
we
cart.
have to
I'm
be
like,
okay
man,
with
he's
not
making
knowing the
progress.
answers
And then it
too,
zooms out, and he's like 5 stairs up from the bottom. And I was like, that's funny.
The only other thing that just popped into my head.
So I actually really liked how relatable
don't count it as a
Poe
negative
is
or
as a
anything,
character.
but I have
Because
that
he's
people
really
sometimes
just this,
kind of think
like,
for me, like,
he's not a deadbeat because he works in his dad's
which I
restaurant,
think,
but he's
like,
just this kind of
can
like
understand it
dorky,
if I-
nerdy
praying with
kid
more passion and
that's
more
working
belief
for
is
his
more
dad's
than five.
business. Like he's
But
got action figures
sometimes,
of the Furious
like, I have
Five, of
that
the
feeling
like
whether
Kung
they're
Fu
gonna be
warriors that he
He's
still
got
is like,
guys.
"Wah, ha," playing with.
like sometimes
And
like,
idolizes
he's a little
them.
far away. He's a little
and
hard
yet
of
just-
hearing. Yell a little louder.
yeah, I would and like it would remind me of like
That's true.
That's true.
somebody who like doesn't speak English like in the TV shows and then the
And then
Americans
you
just
think
start
about like,
yelling
okay, he
louder
gets
at them,
like
as if that's gonna make them understand.
dubbed
Oh, man.
the Dragon Warrior and is now
that's
in
funny.
That's
That is
absolutely
funny.
right.
you know, like temple training and stuff, and he's like absolutely fangirling out over. There literally is a species called the Asian rhino. Probably
Everything's
every
in
rhino is in danger.
Guys, humans suck. So yeah, that was it. I mean, they're like.
I mean,
there's
I
a-
would have to
a
know
clan
that I
of
know
lions.
that I know that I know that I know that I heard from the Lord.
That's one of those ones that you build up to. Let
Holy
me just get the
smokes.
praying down and getting the
This
headaches
next
going.
part that I-
That would be one. Just I don't know. I'd have to be like
Hey,
pastor,
good for you, Nate.
pastor.
So, oh, even more
Although I
nerdy.
think our pastor would be like,
You
"What
do
told you to
research,
go-"
I don't know.
guys.
To be like,
What was
I
Master
think he'd
Turtle's
approach
name?
that one with
Oolong tea?
caution. I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to really know from the
Oh
Lord.
my
Oofang?
gosh.
Oofang?
You know, but there
I,
is
I had it,
confirmation,
and
though.
then
I
you
have to say
said
that.
that. And I,
There,
Master
because I have
Oogway.
heard like,
Master Oogway. Guys, Master
people who have
Oogway
seen healings
has a
they would
vision
walk
that
into
the evil tiger, what's
into
his
a
name?
room
Link
and
Tai
like
Lung.
someone
Tai Lung.
like the
Thank you.
paralytic
Gosh.
or something like that. There was I know this. I don't
MVP
remember the
right
names
here.
of it, but I
Master
remember the story
Oogway
of
has
two
a
people
vision that
walked
the
in
evil
and
Tai
instantly
Lung
they
is coming
knew
back.
that man was going to be
And then
healed.
literally
Like,
just
the two
pieces
people
out.
that were going to be
pulls a
praying for
Master
people.
Luke.
Yeah,
They
and he's
knew,
just like
and so they knew that when they went to pray
disintegrates.
for
He
him, he would
transcends
be healed
time
and he would
into the
end
next
up walking
into
out
the
that
afterlife,
day.
and he
And
literally
so
just
it's like I
pieces
do
it out.
believe
It's
that there
yeah.
is confirmation
Good
of
luck.
healing.
Like I defeated him
And I don't
last
know
time.
if it's just
It's not my problem anymore.
yeah. I feel like there would
Bye.
have to be
Deuces.
confirmation.
Good luck,
Because
guys.
a lot
I
of
was sitting on the
times
couch,
with
I was like,
these
That's selfish,
these
dude.
people who
Yeah.
see many
But he did
miracles,
it.
there's either an interccer that goes with them,
I
or there's
know,
people
but,
that are
like,
praying with them as well.
What
And
if
so
they
I
didn't
do
answer
feel
the
like there would be
call?
confirmation.
But then I guess it wouldn't
with
be Ugoy's problem because he'd be deaded.
So,
And I was like, that was the point of their movie.
How did
They're
she-
sacrificing themselves.
How did she miss the part? Yes.
me and Zach as praying for long term.
And the fact that they were able to do cool, like,
Angelia, as you mentioned, being on the healing team and
like,
seeing people
classic
come up.
kung fu movie stuff in animated and make it not look dumb.
Right.
You know.
Like when he's breaking out of the prison.
Pray.
I thought that was awesome too.
Yeah.
It's so over the top, but it is like they
It was
would
so
do that
cool.
stuff in old kung fu movie.
The bridge
I can
Yeah.
with the Furious Five and Tai Lung. Also,
That was
a
great.
part of that that I absolutely
that
just always
probably has been one of
love
the
and
biggest
find is hilarious
struggles
is
of my faith.
they're holding the ropes up and eventually they leave it to Mantis,
Mantis.
the tiniest one, to hold the bridge while the rest of them are fighting on it.
Which that really did not sound like Seth Rogen. I was surprised. When I found
Yeah.
Really, he was the first one that I realized like who the voice was. Jackie Chan. It took me forever.
And,
Yeah, and he doesn't talk much in the movie, Jackie Chan.
You know,
Yeah, that's
from,
true.
from the
Yeah.
day that I
Angelina
was
Jolie did
diagnosed,
not sound like Angelina
No, I had no idea it was her until I just looked it up
gave me
earlier.
words, gave me
I do want to say
scriptures.
one thing. If we lost video, which I think that might be what the sound was, like the memory card ran out of space or something,
Uh-oh.
then just keep listening.
People have visions
That's all
and
fine.
stuff Of,
We'll just put up our logo.
100% believe it. It's in the Word. It's in the Bible. But I got through many times.
I guess that makes more sense because I was doing more of like a force thing, but then we're talking about a kung fu movie, so maybe
Not seen
And then the last thing I wrote down,
And so
was,
I've really
other
had
than
to
the
wrestle with
fight scenes being amazing,
what does that mean?
I enjoyed the soundtrack and the score again. I think it was another really well done
You know,
music,
is there something that I'm doing wrong?
just for scenes and.
And that's one of the things.
Yes, sir.
I think
I know you mentioned like Gulliver's Travels was more of a like Jack Black, but this still was very much Jack Black. Like,
I just feel like
Am I
you had
not?
to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a very
do I have
young
some sort
target
of
audience.
not
true.
But like one of the most Jack Black
healing
Black
to
vibes I got
emotional
was when Shifu was
Is
like
there
I
some,
forget the
you
monkey's
know,
name. It keeps his cookies on the
centers
top
of
shelf,
what I am
and like
holding
Poe
on to
jumps up
using
into a split and's eating the cookies, and Shifu's like,
to let go of.
"How
Those
did
are
you
things
do
to
that?
do.
You
And
you
then
did a
following
perfect split."
different,
And Poe's just like,
steps in the Word,
"I'm
like
just
go to the
sitting."
elders, you know, go
I wrote
receive
down
prayer
in the very
healing
beginning
from
when he
the
first
elders,
gets
you
into
know.
the training.
in I think it's
He's
James.
just getting destroyed by all the training equipment. And then he gets hit in the nuts and he goes,
Healing.
my tenders.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
Having done
tender.
all those different steps,
My tenders.
I had to learn
That's awesome.
tender.
But I love because he still plays up the like goofy, dumpy, klutzy, like
not my ways.
dude, and
I can't.
I think it's hilarious.
I can't, and I don't have to.
Like even the fact when he's climbing the stairs, trying to get up, and it's like 10,000 steps, and he gets up to the top and just like collapses. Or when he's trying to get back up to the top when Tai Lung gets up
I
there,
was
and
just gonna say that.
and he's racing to like finish the fight, and he gets up to the top, and he's like, okay, just give me a couple minutes, catch my breath. Then I'm totally gonna kick your butt. Whoo, okay.
You did that really well.
And one of the things that really got me to that
Yeah, I mean, I'm experienced with being out of breath. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I've
minus
exercised a
one or
lot in my
two
life.
cities, it actually might have just
Weird
been
flex, but okay.
city of Nazareth.
Nerd. Anything
I'm
else you
also
want to
pudgy
add
now.
there?
Faith and kind of their antagonism against him.
All right. Do we want to grade this bad boy?
Everywhere he went, it said he healed
10 out of 10.
all
10 out of 10.
who came to him.
No, I'm gonna give it real grades.
Every time it was his
All right. So first,
will, it was
the
his
enjoyment
goal to always
of Kung Fu Panda.
and I had to keep that
Let's go this way. Nick goes first now.
That is his goal. That is his
I mean, I definitely enjoyed this movie.
his
I
heart
enjoyed
is
it
always
a
for
little bit
healing.
less than I enjoyed Gulliver's Travels.
You're a crazy person.
I can't
it was
figure
just-
out why
He's an
mine
alcoholic.
hasn't dropped, but also I
I think
don't
it's just because it was
need to
like
know why.
a lot of the humor.
Because I can also trust on the
lost
verse
on
that
me,
he
but
gave
it's
me the
definitely
very
like
first day that I was diagnosed
which
with
I can
Romans
still
8:28.
appreciate. But I
It
just
says
felt
all things
like
work
Gulliver's
together for
Travels
good
was
to
like
those who love God and
geared
are
more
called
towards
according
like
to his purpose.
my age
So
group,
go,
and
okay.
my
I don't know why
the
it's
time I grew
hasn't
up.
happened.
But I still
Okay.
enjoyed this quite a bit. I'll give it a
What
I feel
seven.
you.
I'll give it a solid
Okay.
seven.
I mean, that's a
Why
great
it's
score.
been delayed,
But that's just my
I
personal
know
enjoyment.
that
Like I
his
said,
desire
I
is to heal.
definitely think this is clearly a better movie.
And then I hold on to those
Gulliver's
promises.
Yeah.
So based on my
Because,
subjective
hey,
enjoyment.
Abraham had to wait 25
I'm also
years
gonna
for
give it a
his
7.
promise.
I really enjoyed it, and
25
yeah,
years yet.
I give it a 7.
Only 10 more years to go.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna give it an
Or
8.5.
David.
Like, it's
You know,
not
he
a
waited
perfect
40
movie,
years
but
to
I
become
really
king
loved it.
after
Yeah.
he was anointed.
I'm glad
Nah,
stick
I'm
with the
just.
25.
Now.
I'm closer to that one.
But you know, the
Rewatchability
king
now.
that he was when he eventually was king, he wouldn't have been that king if he was like king 5
sure.
years after he was anointed as king. So it made him into the king he was, and his relationship with God those 40 years. I would never pray that over somebody, you know. I don't want to be
Buckle up
like,
for 40 years, bud.
yeah,
Um,
like who knows
honestly, I'm
why?
gonna give
I
it
don't know why
rewatchability.
someone is healed or
It
not
seems to-
healed, but who knows the
weird to give
process they're going
rewatchability
through.
a
I would
higher
never
score than
pray
enjoyment.
that over anybody.
But,
I would
like,
never want
I
anyone to
know
go
I'm
through
gonna
ups and
rewatch
downs
that
of life of like,
And,
why
like, I can
am
see
I
myself rewatching
healed or
it
not
multiple
healed?
times. So I am
I
gonna
mean,
give it an 8.
I want to believe for the instantaneous healing. I believe in the process, but I would never pray over a long. Like,
Jenkins?
oh
So
Lord, I pray
my
you heal them in
rewatchability
30 years. No, I would never
is
pray that over
gonna
anyone.
be
Why? Because
a
if I
9
had that,
because,
it would
one,
suck.
I've
You know,
already
it would be
rewatched
terrible.
it. I've already
Well,
seen
you know,
it
one of-
a
one of
couple
the things
times,
that really
2-3
also
times,
put it in perspective
and I know I'm gonna rewatch it
where I've
again
been, like,
because I
mad.
enjoy it.
I've
So
been like,
I'm not gonna give it
why
a
haven't
10
you
because
done-
it's
you know,
not
you
like,
promised this, why haven't you
oh,
done
if there's a movie I'm gonna rewatch, I'm going to Kung Fu Panda
You're
first.
real
No,
nice,
but
like,
I know I'm
part of
definitely
that
gonna rewatch
I
it.
feel like this is,
journey of
it could be a fun like comfort movie. You know,
Yeah.
like, you don't know what to do one night.
these emotions and
It's just
delayed
fun,
prayers,
goofy,
delayed
like-
answers to prayers.
Feel it?
But one of the
Quote-
things that really
quotability.
put it in perspective for me was
Skadoosh.
reading the book of Job.
That only happens once.
Because Job had a bunch of terrible
I
things
remember,
happen to him.
like,
He got to that
everybody
point
was
where
quoting
he
that
was
back
like,
in the day. But that might be
why'd you
repeat
let all this
stuff. I
happen to me?
remember
Blah,
hearing
blah, blah,
this
you know.
like,
And the
over
Lord
and over and
answers
over
him
again.
Yeah.
and
And then,
essentially goes, you know, who are you to question me?
But
He
it
talks
is pretty
about like,
cool, like I said. My
did
bad.
you tell the oceans where
And I feel like the
they
book
could
rewatch
come this far and no further? Did you know, set all the stars and hang them exactly where they're supposed to be? You know, all this stuff, kind of putting in
Good score.
perspective of who I
Solid score.
who I am to go.
I kind of feel the same. I'm going to go a little bit low. I'm going to go
My bad.
4.8 for my
I'm a little out of
quotability.
line to question you, to yell at you, but at the same time, he also spoke with compassion, like, you know.
I'm
takes care
gonna
of
go
him,
with
and then
Nick
he
on
blesses
this
him, like, double
with a 6 because
for that
there are a lot of quotable
process and gives him back
lines in this
twice as
movie.
much.
It's not one that you watch once and automatically there's like all these
That's just
quotes
kinda
that just
my-
stick in your
a
brain,
little bit of my
but
journey. There's a
there
lot more
are
to
a
dive into.
few that'll automatically stick, and then as you, like you said, as you watch it more, there's lots of
I
things
just
that you
think
can continue to
It's
quote.
a wild
So, and it is like
journey going through, you
fun quotes like "my tenders" or the "skadoosh" or the not the "whooshy finger hold," you know, like.
know, not just a prayer.
So there's some fun stuff in there.
I think it comes back to like I have to be okay with not knowing the answer, and that was a process for me to realize. A lot of times it's like I need to change the conversation going in my head because everything my mind is telling me right now isn't true, and it's like, all right, if it's not backed up by the word, like I gotta like basically
Yeah,
spit
my-
out
my
everything
storyline is gonna be
that
up there,
I'm
too, 'cause
thinking,
I
and
think
really
the
just chew
storyline
on
was
what the
really,
word
really,
says.
really
And
good.
even though
And
my
same thing,
circumstances
Kung
of
Fu
praying for
movies,
people
I
are
mean,
telling me otherwise, I still have to
it
like
made a
make
children's
sure I'm
movie
planting that
true
foundation
to the
on
Kung
what
Fu
I know
movies
the
I
word
watched
says.
with my dad
Because it
growing
says the
up
word will never return
stuff.
void.
So,
And so
um,
if I hold on to that, I know that
I'll
what
just
I'm
make it
praying,
simple. I'll
it
give it
will
a
come to be,
8.3
even if it's not in
as
the
well.
way that I want. But I have to be okay
So
that
I really
God's
like
not a genie.
the
He's not going to
storyline.
always. He's
The
not
same
going to
things
give
that
us
you
what we
guys
want.
said, but it
That's not
also,
who
like,
he is.
has some
But
really
he's
good
good,
character
and
development.
he's a good
yeah,
father,
for-
and we have to
for-
remember like who he is in the midst of
for
us
not
believing for
only
healing.
Poe's, and it was a cool story, I think, with like Master Shifu and how Tai Lung was his his apprentice, his pupil that he had taken in, and then he turns bad, and then he doesn't believe in Poe. Poe ends up being the Dragon Warrior. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff there that I thought was fantastic storytelling. So I'll give it a 9.
Yeah. So then I just stopped. I mean, I don't know why I haven't been healed for what I want to get healed for yet. And to be quite honest with you,
And I thought
I don't
that
care to
goes
know
to
the reason
the
why.
storyline
Because I know it's going to happen. And one of the stories that always stuck out to me is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or
Be
Rack,
yourself.
Shack, and Abednego for our aficionados. When they get thrown before they get thrown in the furnace, they say they have,
Okay.
faith that the Lord.
How
serve
important is Jack
will come
Black
and
in the
save
role?
them. But even if he doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
they will have, died serving the one true king.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I have complete faith that I'm gonna get healed here on earth. But even if I don't, I'm gonna have a perfect body in heaven. So
Really?
at the end of the day,
Oh, is that who I'm thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, that would
good.
make sense. They give me similar vibes.
Jack Black.
Those are-
I think it goes back to the
questions,
same thing as
comments that I
Gulliver's
had
Travels,
for
right?
this,
Like,
uh,
there are
this
other
long
people
feeling.
that could do
Thank you guys
the
for
role, but it's just not going to be as funny. It's not going to be the same,
What did you think of your other
inputting with us.
Thanks for having me.
I don't know
I'm
if
right
you
here.
this podcast.
You'll see her again. We've already got at least one other episode lined up.
I'm not Mr. Exercise.
Mr. 75 soft.
I got a little
No,
Yeah, healing to me is a
number
big,
now.
deal. It's a big part of
Yeah,
they want a number.
Christians,
they want the X.
5, okay?
Wow.
and it's also a big point for me. So I kind of wanted to just share some of my
Not even
And the
close.
fact that Seth Rogen is actually in this movie, but he didn't get the part of Poe.
some of our
Okay,
own
that
beliefs
implies that, or that infers that he tried to get the part of Poe.
He probably
struggling
did.
with these things, thinking of it.
Maybe
What do
he
you think
did.
he tried at? And they were like, "No, you're not good enough, but here's a lesser role for you."
Maybe this will
That
be-
happens a lot where
Not
they
to
try
Seth
out
Rogen.
for
Not to
if
Seth
you
Rogen.
are
like the
listening,
main cast, and they're like, "No, but we've got another character that you would fit."
Not to
struggles
Seth
about
Rogen.
healing. You're going through, that
I
rough
think
journey as well.
Me and Nick are outvoting you right now. I think.
That's weird.
Just,
What
we
happened?
would love to talk. We'd love to answer some questions.
Oh,
If you
shots fired.
have your own journey or story.
Never
of
mind. I'm
healing,
not gonna say anything right now.
whatever you'd like to come
I'm
share,
copying Zach's score from the first movie and giving it a 9.9.
contact us and
Like, I want to give it a perfect 10, but maybe there's somebody out there who I just don't know who would have. But like, I
if
just
you're not,
he-
a believer or maybe believer.
he
or
killed it.
questioning
Yeah.
things and,
Yeah.
talking about some of this.
I'm gonna stick
stuff
with my
that
score
they-
from the last one, 9.9.
stories
It
that you
is
have
True
it
Jack
is-
Black fan.
Yeah.
Feel free
Did you have any
to
more
hit
fun
us
facts
up.
about Jack Black that you were supposed to sprinkle in, or
Oh yeah.
Love
two? Okay.
questions. We love talking
Let's
to
get
people.
let's come on.
That's kind of the whole point of this podcast.
Oh.
I have not.
I believe it's for the game Pitfall.
I want to read something.
Huh.
And he's
Like Zach said, if you have your own stories or anything, or even just comments, like
Use the
also,
interwebs.
they
Yes.
go a long way with us.
Okay.
Either through the website or social media
Uh-huh.
or whatever. I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but somebody
I
had
knew
just
that.
sent us a message through our website.
But that's sick.
expressing their
That's pretty crazy.
That is.
gratitude and
Thanks for the
how
fun
Parents are
fact.
smart people.
I
they
found more,
appreciate
but
us
I was gonna
talking
save them.
Yeah. Yeah.
things that they
Wow.
struggle
But I think I might.
with, chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Anxiety.
Yeah.
and,
There's 32 credits, so
appreciate the fact
it's
that,
great.
we keep it
Um,
recorded.
anything else you guys want to add, or you just
enjoy those messages.
read- want me to read
and
us out?
knowing that people are listening and it's helping make a
Jack Black
difference
is
in
national
someone's
treasure.
life. So,
Yes.
if you think other people are writing in, that doesn't mean you can't write too. So
Mhm.
I want to throw that in there.
This has been another episode of the My Life, Your Life Together podcast.
Yeah.
We appreciate everyone who listens.
It's a fantastic singer.
If you like our podcast, you like what we do,
Yeah.
you like to hear what we have
But
to
it's
say,
a long way to the
go
top
ahead
if you
and
want to
like,
rock and roll.
Subscribe, follow, all that stuff. And if you want to support the podcast, feel
I'm just
free
thinking
to
of
go grab
the
some
credits
our merch.
credits of School of
We've
Rock.
got cool merch, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that.
We should get
I got a
credits.
cool
That's a lot
crew
of
neck
work.
sweater. It's awesome.
My wife
No,
is
except not
super
really, because
happy
there's
with
only
me
like
getting
3
these
things I'd
t-shirts.
have to put in the credits.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
we
thank
would
you
love- we
guys
would be
for
grateful
joining
for
us
any
for the
support,
first
and really, we
episode
would be
of
grateful if you like what we're
the
doing
Jack
and you
Black
love
Showdown
listening to us.
series
Share
with
the
the
podcast with
My Life, Your Life
If you know
Together
someone that,
movie
one of our
squad.
episodes could
I'm
help, or
I'm
one
working
of
on
our
shirts to make
more
up, so we'll be
lighthearted
wearing
episodes could cheer
like
us.
theme
Movie squad shirts?
Yeah, theme shirts in the future,
Share our podcast
and
with
maybe eventually.
everyone.
That I
we
have to
just
work on.
really appreciate everyone
for-
who listens, and especially those
before
who
that,
listen
Could
faithfully.
get cartoon caricatures.
That's what I'm working on.
That's
I can't
awesome.
do that. I have to talk to someone.